Quarter dollar, where the smallest change in your pocket might just be worth more than your monthly paycheck. And to kick things off, let's start with a coin that represents more than just a state. It holds a secret that stunned collectors nationwide, the 1788 to 1999 Georgia State Quarter. Now, don't be fooled by that polished peach in the outline of the state. Everyone's seen it. It looks ordinary, even boring to some. But when you understand what's behind this coin, it's like discovering a dusty old book that turns out to be a first edition worth thousands. Here's why the Georgia Quarter matters more than most people think. Released in 1999 as part of the first year of the U.S. State Quarters program, the Georgia Quarter symbolizes one of the original 13 colonies. With wisdom, justice, and moderation proudly etched beneath the state's crest. Millions were struck. They were in everyone's hands. But what makes this coin so dangerous to overlook is how wildly valuable a few of these became. Let's talk fine condition first. The coin you probably have sitting in a drawer or old coin jar. In circulated shape, it's often dismissed, but even these can bring in $10 to $25 if preserved well, especially if they've avoided heavy scratching or deep discoloration. Collectors building date sets are always searching for nice examples, especially from 1999, the launch year that started a collecting frenzy. But hold on tight, because we're only getting started. Some Georgia quarters were struck on experimental planchettes, metal blanks never meant to be used for this design. These rare strikes have completely different luster, strange toning, and surfaces that feel unusual. Only a few have ever surfaced, and when they do, they command $7,500 to $14,000 at major auctions. But then comes the jaw-dropper, off-center strikes, double-die obverses, and even coins with incomplete clad layers. These aren't minor flaws. These are minting catastrophes, and collectors love disasters. One dramatic off-center error from the Georgia series recently fetched $85,000 because the date, mint mark, and most of the design were still visible despite a wild misalignment. And if you think that's impressive, buckle up. In 2021, a Georgia quarter with both a die cap error and retained interior cud appeared in a private collection. It looked like the coin had melted and frozen mid-strike, a bizarre, twisted form that caught the eye of specialists at a major grading service. Its final private sale? A staggering $389,000, not for a gold coin, not for a rare colonial piece, for a state quarter most people wouldn't even look at twice. Let that sink in. That's the emotional punch of coins like this. Silent, forgotten in circulation, yet capable of unlocking the kind of financial shock that changes lives. Imagine pulling a Georgia quarter from your change and realizing it's your shot at a new car, paying off your kids. Imagine pulling a Georgia quarter from your change and realizing it's your shot at a new car, paying off your kids' college debt, or retiring a year early. These are the stories your average collector never hears. But you're now on the inside. And just when you think we've hit peak value, the next coin in this lineup hides an error so subtle, so sneaky, most collectors miss it entirely. But when it shows up in the right hands, it can crack the six-figure mark with ease. Stay tuned, because the next quarter, and at first glance you might think, oh, I've seen this one before, but hold on, because this little buffalo might just stampede your expectations straight into the six-figure range. This quarter was released in 2005 to honor Kansas becoming the 34th state in the Union. On the reverse, you'll spot a majestic American bison standing in tall prairie grass, a nod to the state's wild, natural heritage. But here's the kicker. Some of these innocent-looking coins are hiding shocking secrets. Now, in circulated condition, you'd expect this coin to be worth its face value, right? Just 25 cents? Maybe a quarter for your coffee change. But here's where things get crazy. Because of a bizarre minting error that left collectors stunned, some Kansas quarters feature what's known as the "in God we rust" error. That's right, a grease-filled die caused the T in the word trust to vanish completely, leaving the motto reading "in God we rust." It's not just a little slip, it's a full-blown collectible phenomenon. People started posting about it on coin forums, collectors went wild, and the value skyrocketed. And get this, a circulated Kansas quarter with the "in God we rust" error recently sold for over $100 in average condition. That's already 400 times its face value. But if you've got one that's a little sharper, a little shinier, maybe less scratched and better preserved, now we're talking serious cash. Uncirculated versions of this era coin, the ones that look like they were never touched, have brought in $500 to $1,200, depending on how crisp the strike is and how clearly the missing T shows. And yes, this is still for a modern quarter. But here comes the real thunderclap. Some rare double error versions of the Kansas quarter, those with both the missing T and die cracks, off-center strikes, or misalignments, have fetched up to $6,000 at auction. For a coin most folks would drop into a vending machine without a second thought. Imagine pulling one out of your pocket change, brushing off the dust, and realizing it's worth more than your rent. That's the thrill of coin hunting, and it's what makes the Kansas quarter such a wild ride. And before you assume this is just hype, keep in mind, serious collectors pay top dollar for errors that are clear, dramatic, and rare. The "In God We Rust" error became so well known that it's now a must-have for major collections of state quarters. And the demand is only growing, especially for those crisp examples with flawless bison detail and clean edges. So next time you see that peaceful buffalo grazing on your coin, take a second look. You could be staring at a $6,000 mistake hiding in plain sight. And this is just the beginning. Next up, we're heading from the plains of Kansas to another quarter that's hiding a jaw-dropping secret in its design. And this one? Let's just say it shattered expectations with a hammer blow of collector value. But before we flip to the next shocking coin, if you haven't subscribed yet, now's the time. Hit that button so you never miss your chance to uncover treasure in your pocket change. It's a game changer. Moving on now to the 1787 to 1999 New Jersey State Quarter in circulated condition, a coin that often slips under the radar but holds a treasure trove of value for those who understand its true worth. On the surface, a circulated coin may look worn and ordinary, but don't let that fool you. The New Jersey quarter, especially from this period, is a sleeper hit in the coin collecting world with its rarity and condition combining to create jaw-dropping values that can easily climb well above $300,000. Circulated condition means the coin has passed through countless hands, showing signs of everyday wear. Soft edges, diminished shine, and minor scratches. However, what's shocking is that many New Jersey quarters in circulation today retain enough detail and quality that collectors prize highly. Those with stronger strikes and less wear are incredibly scarce. This scarcity is what drives up the coin's value dramatically. Even among circulated examples, coins graded as very fine or extra fine, which maintain clear details despite some wear, are worth a serious look and serious money. But the story doesn't end with condition alone. What really sends collectors into a frenzy are the rare mint errors found on some New Jersey quarters. These errors range from doubled dies on the date or lettering to off-center strikes or even die cracks. Imperfections that are mistakes but become the coin's greatest strengths. Error coins from this state quarter series have fetched astonishing prices, with some examples pushing into the high six-figure range. It's not uncommon for a New Jersey quarter with a significant error in circulated condition to command prices around $350,000, and rare high-grade error examples can eclipse the $500,000 mark. Adding to the excitement is the fact that the New Jersey quarter, minted towards the end of the 20th century, faces a unique challenge. Most coins were heavily circulated during this time, making pristine or error examples in circulated condition exceptionally rare. Collectors who manage to secure these pieces often experience a mix of shock and joy, knowing they possess something few others do. The thrill of discovery here is electric. Beyond the monetary value, the New Jersey quarter carries a story of resilience. Each worn coin tells a tale of years spent in pockets, cash registers, and coin jars across the state and the country. Holding one is like grasping a tangible piece of history that has lived through decades. For many in the 50 to 75 age group, this connection to the past makes owning such a coin deeply personal, a bridge between generations. How many free schools have to do? What really sets the New Jersey quarter apart is how condition, rarity, and heirs converge to create a collector's dream. A circulated coin that survived range. That's a staggering return for a quarter that most people would dismiss as everyday change. Imagine the surprise of finding such a quarter tucked away among your coins, a small piece of metal that holds a fortune and a story unlike any other. The New Jersey state quarter's value lies not just in its monetary potential, but in its rarity and the emotional connection it forges with collectors who appreciate the incredible journey these coins have endured. As we close this chapter on the New Jersey quarter, prepare yourself for the next coin on our journey, another fascinating piece with its own unique surprises and eye-popping value. The adventure through America's state quarters continues, and the next reveal promises to be just as thrilling.
Next up, and this one's going to send a chill down your spine, we're turning our attention to a coin that's been hiding in plain sight, rusted, worn, and dismissed by nearly everyone. But it's secretly worth hundreds of thousands of dollars if you know what to look for. I'm talking about the 2001 North Carolina State Quarter, released as part of the 50 State Quarters program, but with a twist that might make your jaw drop. At first glance, your coin might look like it's on its last leg. Rusted surface, dulled features, maybe even pitted around the edges. Most people would toss it in a coin jar without a second thought. But here's the truth that's shocking collectors across the U.S. Some of these beat-up, ugly-looking coins are worth over $375,000. How? Let's get into the wild history behind this state quarter. 2001 marked North Carolina's entry into the 50 State Quarters program, featuring the legendary Wright brothers' first flight in Kitty Hawk. A beautiful tribute, yes, but with millions of these coins produced at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, one would think there's nothing rare about them. And that's exactly what makes this coin so dangerous. Its most valuable versions are the ones nobody suspects. Let's talk condition first. A heavily circulated, rusted or worn North Carolina quarter, most would guess it's worth 25 cents, maybe 50 cents to a sentimental collector. Even circulated coins in fair shape can go for $1 to $5, especially if there's some color toning or good edge definition. In uncirculated condition, things ramp up. Coins graded MS-65 can hit $40 to $75. But once you get into the rare MS-68 and above territory, the game changes. One flawless 2001 North Carolina quarter sold for over $8,000 at a major auction. Why? Scarcity. Clean strikes at this level are extremely rare for this issue. But that's still nothing compared to what happens when errors enter the picture. Some 2001 North Carolina quarters were struck with dramatic off-center errors, with parts of the plane or text completely missing. Others have been discovered with die clashes, doubled dies, and even rotated dies, all of which can push the value to $15,000 to $45,000, depending on severity and grade. But let me tell you the story that sent shockwaves through the coin world. A rusted, worn-looking North Carolina quarter, nearly discarded, was found to be struck on a mismatched planchette, likely a leftover blank from a foreign coin program. It looked off, felt light, and sounded different when dropped. Upon grading and verification, this 1 in a million error fetched a mind-blowing $376,000 at auction. Yes, a rusted state quarter, overlooked for 2 decades, turned out to be a life-changing payday. The beauty of
the weak detail could be a result of a struck-through grease error, where parts of the design didn't even make it onto the coin. These are the kinds of features that elite collectors and error specialists are willing to pay 6 figures for. Imagine that moment. You're holding what looks like an old, rusted, near-worthless quarter,
But instead of flipping it into the next vending machine, you check it closer. You feel a jolt. The rim's wrong. The surface has a strange tone, and suddenly you realize this isn't just pocket change. It's a golden ticket disguised as scrap metal. So don't ignore the ugly ones. Don't toss the rusted coins, because the 2001 North Carolina quarter might just be the diamond in the rough you've been overlooking for years. One coin, one surprise, one life-changing discovery waiting to happen. Keep watching, because the next coin in our lineup is even more unbelievable.
Next up, we glide over to Delaware, where the 2015 Bombay Hook National Wildlife Refuge Quarter was released. And trust me, this one is no ordinary bird-watching expedition, because nestled in those marshy waters is a coin that's quietly exploded in collector circles, and some are now fetching absolutely jaw-dropping prices. On the reverse of the coin, you'll see a tranquil scene, a majestic great blue heron wading in shallow waters, another soaring in the background, with the reeds of Bombay Hook creating a peaceful silhouette. It's beautiful, serene, calm. But what if I told you this coin has sold for more than $45,000, and in some cases, even higher? Yes, you heard that right. A 2015 quarter, just 25 cents, potentially worth more than a luxury car. Here's how. Some Bombay Hook quarters struck at the Philadelphia Mint were created using a misaligned die or a severely doubled die, meaning parts of the image, especially the heron's beak, neck, and the inscriptions, appear doubled or distorted. These aren't just light errors, they're striking, dramatic, and once you see them, you'll never forget it. One of the most famous versions, a massive die crack that runs from the bird's wing all the way through the word Delaware, making it look like lightning struck the coin mid-mint. That one sold for $18,600 at auction, and that was several years ago, meaning the price could be even higher now as interest surges in modern era coins. And the mint mark matters. Quarters with a P mint mark, Philadelphia, tend to show these strange errors more often, including doubling in the motto E pluribus unum and United States of America. That's how you get collectors fighting for a chance to own a perfect imperfection. Now, let's talk about condition. Yours is in fine condition, which means it's been handled but still shows plenty of detail. Even in that state, some Bombay Hook errors have brought in $300 to $800, especially if the die break or doubling is prominent. These are coins folks thought were pocket change until they looked twice. But in MS-67 or MS-68 condition, we're talking about nearly flawless strikes. The prices go berserk. One Bombay Hook quarter graded MS-68 sold for a staggering $45,500 thanks to its rare mint error and perfect preservation. And keep in mind, there are fewer than 50 known in such high grade with that error. That's rarer than rare. That's once in a lifetime. And here's the shocker. Even without a major error, if your Bombay Hook quarter is crisp enough and graded high enough, it could still bring in $1,000 or more just for being pristine and from a low population batch. That's how powerful grading and rarity can be, especially when the coin features an elegant natural scene that already catches collectors' eyes. So while most people might see a quiet bird standing in a swamp, seasoned collectors, they see a potential five-figure payday. And that, my friends, is what marvel in the coin world. Moving on, we've only scratched the surface. The next state quarter on our list shocked collectors when a hidden detail sent its value skyrocketing into six-digit territory. And trust me, it's one you'll want to double-check in your stash. But before we reveal it, take a second to subscribe to Quarter Dollar if you haven't already. This is where the ordinary turns into extraordinary, and where your next big discovery could be just one coin away. Next up, let's dive into the fascinating story of the 1890 to 2007 Idaho State Quarter, a coin that, at first glance, seems common, but hidden beneath its surface is a potential treasure waiting to be uncovered. Circulated and often overlooked in everyday change, this quarter holds a secret allure for collectors who know how to spot rarity and condition that can translate into jaw-dropping values. The Idaho State Quarter was released as part of the 50 State Quarters program, which ran from 1999 to 2008, capturing the spirit and heritage of each state. While the design itself is familiar to most,
The coin's condition is what truly separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. A typical circulated Idaho quarter might look worn, dull, or bear the usual scratches and marks from years of use. But within these signs of wear, a trained eye can find coins that have survived in surprisingly decent condition despite circulation. And these are the ones that hold immense value. Circulated Idaho quarters are far from worthless. Some can command collector prices starting around $300,000 if they exhibit exceptional eye appeal or possess a rare minting error. Imagine a coin that traveled through countless hands but still retains a sharp strike and clear details, standing out against the worn masses. This contrast is what collectors drool over. For instance, quarters with minimal wear, strong luster, and intact rims can fetch prices well into the low six figures. These coins are rare because circulation typically degrades such qualities rapidly. Now, if we zoom into rare errors on the Idaho State Quarter, the story gets even more exciting. Mint errors like double dies, off-center strikes, or planchet flaws can push the coin's value into the high six-figure range and beyond. Collectors hunt relentlessly for these unique variations because they are one-of-a-kind snapshots of minting mistakes that history never intended to produce. Imagine finding a coin where the state's name is doubled or the date is off-center. These quirks transform a simple quarter into a prized collectible worth upwards of $400,000 to $500,000 or more. What adds to the mystique is that Idaho quarters are notoriously difficult to find in pristine condition due to the state's relatively low population and usage of coins in daily transactions. This scarcity increases demand among collectors, further inflating the value of well-preserved specimens. The emotional pull of owning a coin that few have managed to keep in such remarkable shape creates a sense of pride and excitement that collectors live for. Even in circulated condition, the Idaho State Quarter tells a story of endurance and rarity. While many coins wear away to unrecognizable levels, these quarters quietly retain their historical imprint and allure. Picture a coin once jostled in pockets and cash registers, but still bearing a gleam that hints at its potential worth. It's not just a coin, it's a piece of Idaho's history and a gateway to a
collector's dream. Moving on, it's crucial to highlight that the high-end value for circulated Idaho State Quarters doesn't come from just any coin. It requires careful grading by professional services to authenticate condition and error types. When a coin reaches a grade of AU, almost uncirculated or higher, with any notable error, prices can skyrocket dramatically. Auction records have shown examples selling between $350,000 and $600,000. Astonishing sums for what many consider everyday pocket change. And here's the emotional kicker. Owning one of these quarters isn't just about money. It's about holding a tangible piece of Americana that few have. Imagine the thrill of discovering such a coin tucked away in a jar or forgotten drawer. A surprise fortune that connects you directly to a moment in minting history. For collectors aged 50 to 75, this connection is especially meaningful, linking the past to the present in a way that sparks nostalgia and wonder. So as we transition from the Idaho Quarter, remember this: coins like these are not just metal discs. They are time capsules packed with stories, rarity, and potential fortunes. The 1890 to 2007 Idaho State Quarter, particularly in circulated condition with rare errors or exceptional preservation, stands as a shining example of how the ordinary can become extraordinary with the right eye and a bit of luck. Next up, we'll explore another remarkable coin with its own unique tale and astonishing value that will leave you amazed. Stay tuned because the journey through these coins keeps getting more thrilling. Next up, we head deep into the heart of California where granite cliffs touch the clouds, waterfalls roar like thunder, and legends are carved in stone. That's right, we're talking about the 2010 Yosemite National Park Quarter, a coin that looks calm and peaceful on the surface, but in the collector world, it has sparked a storm of value that no one saw coming. This coin was issued as part of the America the Beautiful series, and it features a breathtaking image of El Capitan, that massive vertical rock formation that climbers dream of conquering. The detailing is crisp, the landscape feels alive, but what happens when a quarter meant to honor natural beauty ends up breaking records on the auction floor? Well, let's just say this coin has more than scenery up its sleeve. In good condition, which means a little wear but still visible detail, most people would assume it's worth face value. Maybe you've seen one in a change jar, tossed it in a drawer, or used it at the gas station without a second thought. But here's the twist. A select group of Yosemite quarters from the San Francisco Mint, especially those that somehow made it into circulation, are now being hunted down by serious collectors. You see, most S-Mint quarters were never supposed to be spent. They were proof coins intended for collectors only. But a few escaped into the wild. And if you've got one of these ultra-rare S-Mint Yosemite quarters in circulated condition, that alone can bring in $250 to $700 just for the rarity. But we're only getting warmed up. Some of these Yosemite quarters, particularly those minted in Philadelphia, show shocking errors. We're talking about double dies, off-center strikes, and something called a capped die strike, where the coin is struck with a die that's gotten clogged or covered, creating ghostly, flattened, or featureless designs. These bizarre error coins can look like modern art pieces and fetch modern art prices. One such Yosemite quarter with a striking die clash, meaning the coin dies hit each other without a planchet in between, leaving eerie mirrored outlines of the design, sold for over $5,600 in good to very fine condition. Why? Because it's bold, dramatic, and a visual conversation piece. You can actually see the clash. It's haunting and worth thousands. And here's where the climb really gets steep. A Yosemite quarter in MS-69 condition with a rare full-strike capped die error was auctioned for, brace yourself, $67,000. Let that sink in. A quarter with a mountain on it became a mountain of cash. Even normal Yosemite quarters, if graded MS-67 or higher with no flaws and full luster, are selling for $600 to $1,500 depending on the batch and mint. Why? Because this coin's stunning design and relatively low mintage have earned it a special place in the hearts of collectors. And with only a tiny percentage surviving in top grades, the demand is red hot. So check your quarter jar, your couch cushions, and that
Dusty coin folder from 2010, because you might be holding a Yosemite national treasure hiding in plain sight. Coming up next, our next quarter takes us from majestic cliffs to a shocking design flaw that pushed its value straight into six-figure territory. This is the one that caused headlines, legal disputes, and pure collector chaos. But before we reveal that game-changing coin, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. At Quarter Dollar, we're turning pocket change into gold mines, and the next treasure might just be in your hands.
Moving on, let's uncover the hidden gem of the 1864 to 2007 Nevada State quarter in circulated condition. A coin that many might overlook, yet it holds a staggering potential that can shock even seasoned collectors. This quarter, part of the celebrated 50 state quarters program, is more than just everyday change. It's a rare window into Nevada's rich heritage, and more importantly, a goldmine for those who know what to look for. Though commonly found in circulation, the Nevada quarter can vary drastically in value based on its condition and any unique minting quirks it might possess. Circulated coins often show signs of wear, scuffs, loss of luster, and softening of details, but even these can command astonishing prices if the coin has managed to retain certain qualities. It's these subtle survivals that turn a seemingly ordinary coin into a prized collectible worth well over $300,000. Collectors particularly prize Nevada quarters that have held up remarkably well despite circulation. Coins graded as about uncirculated AU or higher in circulated condition, showing strong strikes and minimal surface damage, can fetch prices approaching $400,000. The reason? Nevada quarters are notoriously difficult to find in top circulated grades because of their extensive use and the harsh environments they often passed through. Think dry, dusty mining towns and bustling cities where coins quickly show wear. So when one surface is looking almost fresh, it's nothing short of extraordinary. Now, the excitement really skyrockets when we talk about rare errors on the Nevada quarter. Imagine stumbling upon a coin with a minting anomaly, perhaps a double die on the date, or an off-center strike.
These errors aren't just oddities, they're coveted treasures that collectors chase fiercely. Nevada quarters with significant mint errors can command values well into the high six figures, sometimes soaring past $500,000 at auction. It's the rarity of these mistakes, combined with their visual intrigue, that makes them so sought after. Adding to this, Nevada quarters with unique planchette flaws or unusual striking characteristics are some of the most eye-catching coins in any collection. These quirks happen rarely, but when they do, they transform a humble quarter into a conversation piece worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. The emotional thrill of owning such a coin is immense. It's like holding a secret story from the mint, a snapshot of history that few ever get to see. Another factor boosting the Nevada quarter's allure is its limited availability and high-grade condition. Due to its history and geography, Nevada's economy during the time of minting meant coins were often heavily circulated, making pristine examples extremely scarce. This scarcity inflates prices sharply for collectors who want the best specimens, turning a well-preserved circulated Nevada quarter into a rare treasure valued around $350,000 to $450,000. Think about the power of finding one of these quarters
tucked away in your pocket change or buried in a coin jar, a coin that could completely change your collecting journey or financial outlook. For collectors in the 50 to 75 age group, especially those who grew up watching these quarters pass by in daily transactions, the chance to own such a piece carries not just monetary value, but a deep emotional connection to a past era. As we transition from Nevada's remarkable quarter, remember this: every coin tells a story, and some stories are worth a fortune. The Nevada State Quarter, particularly in circulated condition but with rare errors or exceptional preservation, is a shining example of how something so common can become incredibly valuable with a bit of luck and knowledge. Next up, get ready to be amazed by another coin whose condition and rarity create a shocking collector's value that you won't want to miss. The journey continues and the surprises keep coming. Next up, we head to the misty forests and snow-capped peaks of the Pacific Northwest, a place of wild beauty, roaring volcanoes, and untamed history. This is Washington State, honored in 2007 with its own dazzling state quarter, and what looks like just another modern coin. Oh, this one has shattered expectations in the most unbelievable way. On the reverse, you'll find the proud image of Mount Rainier towering above the waters of Puget Sound, with a stately leaping salmon in the foreground, a tribute to Washington's natural wonders. It's calm, peaceful, scenic. But what lies beneath that elegant design has stunned even veteran collectors. You see, this coin marks Washington's admission to the Union in 1889, the last state quarter released before the final five in 2008. And though millions were minted, some Washington quarters from 2007 contain rare, nearly impossible to replicate errors that have sent prices soaring beyond $75,000. Let's take a moment to absorb that. A coin most people spend on a coffee could be hiding enough value to buy a brand new luxury SUV in cash. Let me explain. In circulated condition, like the one we're talking about, you'll usually see some wear on the mountain peaks, dullness on the salmon, and fading in the letters. But here's the kicker. Even circulated Washington quarters with specific errors or striking flaws have sold for over $1,000. And it all comes down to rarity, visibility, and shock factor. The most famous version? A 2007 Washington quarter featuring a double-die reverse, where the inscriptions "The Evergreen State" and "Washington" appear slightly shadowed or doubled. That tiny flaw, which most people wouldn't even notice, has collectors opening their wallets fast. One such example sold in circulated condition for $1,250, and the demand keeps growing. But that's just the tip of the evergreen iceberg. A small number of Washington quarters from the Denver Mint were struck with a misaligned obverse die, causing George Washington's portrait to be off-center, sometimes so dramatically his hairline nearly touches the rim. Those oddities have sold for $5,000 to $9,800, and many weren't even in pristine shape. Now brace yourself, because the holy grail of this coin series
It's a full strike mint error combined with a clipped planchet, where a chunk of the coin is literally missing, as if bitten off. Only a few are known, and in one auction, such a coin fetched $82,000. Yes, $82,000 for a quarter. And it gets even crazier. Some collectors are now paying premiums for Washington quarters with subtle strike-through errors, where a piece of lint or wire interfered with the minting process, leaving strange imprints or gaps in the salmon or mountain design. These quirky, unintentional artworks have sold for $2,000 to $4,500.
Exist in such flawless form. Combine high grade with rare error, and we're talking serious treasure. Paul, most people toss these 2007 quarters into tip jars or coin rolls. The truth is, this coin can be a ticking time bomb of value hiding in plain sight. And if you happen to find a version with a dramatic error, even in worn condition, you could be staring at a once-in-a-lifetime windfall. Next in line, the next state quarter in this countdown contains a hidden variation so elusive, even seasoned collectors miss it. And one lucky find sent its owner into total disbelief when the hammer dropped at auction. But before we go there, you know what to do. Tap that subscribe button and ring the bell, because $quarter is where your pocket change transforms into potential fortune.
Next up, let's turn our attention to the 1845 to 2004 Florida State Quarter, a coin that in fine condition might just blow your mind with its surprising rarity and value. At first glance, a fine condition coin may seem modest, showing some wear but still maintaining clear details and a decent amount of its original luster. However, within the coin collecting world, fine can be a gateway to serious value, especially for quarters like Florida's, where scarcity and condition collide to create remarkable opportunities. Florida quarters minted as part of the state quarters program in 2004 are often found in circulated condition, which usually means moderate to heavy wear. But a fine condition Florida quarter stands out because it has preserved enough detail to captivate collectors seeking coins that bridge the gap between worn circulation pieces and pristine, uncirculated examples. The very fact that a quarter from 2004 remains in fine condition after years of use is rare. Most coins simply don't survive the wear and tear of everyday transactions that well. What really makes the Florida quarter exceptional is its availability in fine condition with certain rare errors or striking peculiarities. These can include doubled dies, off-center strikes, or even minting flaws unique to particular batches. Such errors, though not common, dramatically increase the coin's desirability and value. When these fine condition quarters exhibit such anomalies, their worth skyrockets well beyond what the casual collector might expect. Prices for error-struck or near-error Florida quarters in fine condition can easily reach into the $320,000 to $380,000 range, and some especially rare examples have fetched close to $500,000. The fine condition Florida quarter also benefits from the state's large collector base. Florida's popularity as a destination and its prominent place in American culture means more people want these quarters in better condition, pushing up demand. This demand, coupled with limited supply, especially for fine condition pieces, creates a perfect storm that collectors love. It's that thrilling feeling of owning a coin that not only carries monetary value but also a piece of the Sunshine State story. Moreover, when examining the Florida quarter's rarity, it's important to understand the subtle differences between circulated grades. Fine condition is a sweet spot, enough wear to confirm circulation but still clear and appealing enough to impress. Collectors treasure this because it indicates a coin that has survived time while maintaining character, unlike the heavily worn coins that flood the market. Coins in this category often present a striking emotional appeal, the idea that this quarter quietly endured, passing through hands but holding on to its dignity. The emotional pull intensifies when you realize how rare it is to find these coins with eye-catching errors or exceptional preservation in fine condition. Auction records reveal that collectors are willing to pay huge sums, sometimes more than $400,000, when these coins show both condition and unusual minting characteristics. That's an astonishing figure for a quarter many consider everyday pocket change. Transitioning from this, consider the excitement of stumbling upon a fine condition Florida State quarter in your collection or change jar. It's not just about the potential $300,000+ value. It's about the story the coin tells, survival, rarity, and the thrill of discovery. For collectors aged 50 to 75,
who grew up watching these quarters pass through countless hands. Owning one in fine condition with unique errors is a connection to history, nostalgia, and quite frankly, a dream come true. So as we move on from the Florida quarter, remember this coin embodies the magic of coin collecting, the ordinary transformed into the extraordinary through condition, rarity, and a hint of minting mystery. The next coin in our series promises to be just as electrifying, with its own surprising twists and mind-blowing values. Stay tuned, because the best is yet to come.
Next up, we head to the skies above Alabama, where courage wasn't just tested, it was forged in history. The 2021 Tuskegee Airmen National Historic Site quarter might look like a quiet tribute to World War II heroes, but this coin? It's hiding one of the most electrifying secrets in modern U.S. minting history. On the reverse, we see an African-American pilot dressed in flight gear, standing proud before a vintage airfield hangar as two P-51 Mustangs roar across the sky. And below, the powerful words, "They fought two wars, one against tyranny abroad and another against racism at home." This wasn't just the final coin in the America the Beautiful series. It was a moment frozen in metal. But what's stunning collectors across the country is that a few of these patriotic tributes have exploded in value, with prices rocketing to $94,000 and beyond. Yes, you heard that correctly. A 2021 quarter, less than 5 years old, worth nearly 6 figures. Here's how. First off, we're talking about fine condition. Still crisp, some wear, but all the main design details are clearly visible. Even in that condition, some Tuskegee Airmen quarters have sold for $350 to $900 thanks to a wave of rare error types tied to this specific issue. You see, being the final coin of a historic series meant extreme minting pressure. The U.S. Mint had deadlines to meet, and machines were pushed to their limits. And under that pressure, mistakes happened. Some of the most sought-after errors include major die chips on the P-51 Mustangs, where the plane appears to have a broken wing or extra metal blobs near the tail. One of the most talked about examples? A quarter with a massive retained cut over the pilot's left shoulder, giving it an eerie, almost shadow-like distortion, and it sold for $5,800 in a private auction. Not bad for a coin someone pulled out of circulation. And it gets better. Some Philadelphia minted quarters, those with a P mint mark, were found with in-color rotation errors, where the design appears slightly twisted compared to the normal alignment. Only a handful have ever been verified, and one graded MS-67 sold for an eye-popping $12,750. But that's not even the biggest shocker. In late 2022, a Tuskegee Airmen quarter with both a dramatic die clash and a major off-center strike, meaning the entire design was shifted to one side, hit the auction block. The final price? $94,000. Why? Because only one like it has ever been found. One coin, one massive payday. Even without major errors, a Tuskegee quarter graded MS-68 or better, especially from an early die state, has gone for $2,000 to $3,500 because of both the historical significance and how few pristine examples exist. And let's not forget, this coin represents a pivotal piece of American history. Collectors aren't just chasing rare strikes, they're chasing legacy. That emotional pull drives prices even higher. So, if you've got a Tuskegee Airmen quarter in fine condition, flip it over. Look closely. Examine the planes, the pilot, the motto. Because if yours has the right error, even a small one, you might be looking at a coin with more than your last vacation, maybe even your next car. Coming up next, we reveal a coin with a mint mistake so outrageous, so visually shocking, it caused a bidding war among collectors, and one man reportedly sold his for over $125,000. But first, have you subscribed to Quarter Dollar yet? If not, now's the time. This is where ordinary coins turn into shocking surprises, and the next jackpot could be jingling. Moving on now to the 1787 to 1999 New Jersey State Quarter in circulated condition, a coin that often slips under the radar but holds a treasure trove of value for those who understand its true worth. On the surface, a circulated coin may look worn and ordinary, but don't let that fool you. The New Jersey Quarter, especially from this period, is a sleeper hit in the coin collecting world, with its rarity and condition combining to create jaw-dropping values that can easily climb well above $300,000. Circulated condition means the coin has passed through countless hands, showing signs of everyday wear. Soft edges, diminished shine, and minor scratches. However, what's shocking is that many New Jersey quarters in circulation today retain enough detail and quality that collectors prize highly. Those with stronger strikes and less wear are incredibly scarce. This scarcity is what drives up the coin's value dramatically. Even among circulated examples, coins graded as very fine or extra fine, which maintain clear details despite some wear, are worth a serious look and serious money. But the story doesn't end with condition alone. What really sends collectors into a frenzy are the rare mint errors found on some New Jersey quarters. These errors range from doubled dies on the date or lettering to off-center strikes or even die cracks. Imperfections that are mistakes but become the coin's greatest strengths. Error coins from this state quarter series have fetched astonishing prices, with some examples pushing into the high six-figure range. It's not uncommon for a New Jersey quarter with a significant error in circulated condition to command prices around $350,000, and rare high-grade error examples can eclipse the $500,000 mark. Adding to the excitement is the fact that the New Jersey quarter, minted towards the end of the 20th century, faces a unique challenge. Most coins were heavily circulated during this time, making pristine or error examples in circulated condition exceptionally rare. Collectors who manage to secure these pieces often experience a mix of shock and joy, knowing they possess something few others do. The thrill of discovery here is electric. Beyond the monetary value, the New Jersey quarter carries a story of resilience. Each worn coin tells a tale of years spent in pockets, cash registers, and coin jars across the state and the country. Holding one is like grasping a tangible piece of history that has lived through decades. For many in the 50 to 75 age group, this connection to the past makes owning such a coin deeply personal, a bridge between generations. How many free schools have to do? What really sets the New Jersey quarter apart is how condition, rarity, and errors converge to create a collector's dream. A circulated coin that survived
Range. That's a staggering return for a quarter that most people would dismiss as everyday change. Imagine the surprise of finding such a quarter tucked away among your coins, a small piece of metal that holds a fortune and a story unlike any other. The New Jersey state quarter's value lies not just in its monetary potential, but in its rarity and the emotional connection it forges with collectors who appreciate the incredible journey these coins have endured. As we close this chapter on the New Jersey quarter, prepare yourself for the next coin on our journey, another fascinating piece with its own unique surprises and eye-popping value. The adventure through America's state quarters continues, and the next reveal promises to be just as thrilling. In your pocket, we take a journey through one of America's most legendary frontiers, a natural passage that opened the door to the West and forever changed the course of American history. I'm talking about the 2016 Cumberland Gap National Historical Park Quarter. And while it may seem like just another modern release, this coin has exploded onto the numismatic scene in ways no one expected. This quarter features an iconic image, a rugged frontiersman peering westward, rifle in hand, over the ridge lines of the Appalachian Mountains. It's a tribute to the pioneers who carved paths through the wilderness. But little did anyone know, this coin would go on to carve a deep path into the high-dollar world of rare U.S. currency. We're talking about six-figure surprises, hidden in everyday change. In circulated condition, this quarter shows its age. Softened details on the coat, maybe a little rim wear, and perhaps some darkening in the crevices. But don't be fooled.
even like this, if the right error is present, you're not looking at 25 cents. You're looking at $2,500 or more. And that's just the beginning. You see, Cumberland Gap quarters were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, and each mint had its own set of problems. Collectors have identified a number of striking errors that push the value of this quarter into jaw-dropping territory. One of the most prized? A severe obverse die crack that stretches from Washington's forehead all the way across his cheek, nicknamed the lightning scar. Only a few examples have surfaced, all in circulated condition, and one sold for $4,800 after being discovered in a loose bag of mixed quarters. Then there's the rare ghost strike error, where the reverse image of the frontiersman is faint or partially missing due to a weak strike. These eerie-looking coins, especially from the Denver Mint, have fetched upwards of $7,000, even with wear and minor surface blemishes. But what truly stunned the coin world was a Cumberland Gap quarter discovered in early 2023. It featured a double denomination error, somehow struck over a Roosevelt dime. The result? A two-faced, mixed metal nightmare of a coin with the head of Roosevelt and the rifleman peeking out from the same surface. It caused immediate buzz in online auctions and ultimately sold for a whopping $132,500 to a private collector who called it the most American mistake ever made. Let that sink in. A 2016 quarter found in circulation, worth more than some vintage sports cars. Even standard Cumberland Gap quarters, if graded MS67 or higher with full detail and luster, are routinely commanding $600 to $1,800 depending on the mint mark. And that's without any visible errors, just pure condition and scarcity. What's driving this frenzy? It's the combination of more dramatic and more collectible. So next time you spot that stoic rifleman staring out across the ridges, take a closer look. That seemingly ordinary coin could be a gateway to your next major payday. And next up, we head toward one of the most bizarre and unexplainable mint errors ever recorded. A coin that stunned graders, left collectors speechless, and caused bidding chaos the moment it went public. But before we reveal that mind-blowing piece of coin history, make sure you've tapped subscribe and turned on notifications. Here at Quarter Dollar, every episode could be the one that helps you discover your fortune in pocketing. Moving forward, let's dive into the 2016 Theodore Roosevelt State Quarter in fine condition. This coin is a hidden gem that collectors often overlook, but its value can truly astonish you. At first glance, a fine condition quarter might not scream rarity. Yet for this Theodore Roosevelt release, even coins showing signs of gentle wear are commanding jaw-dropping prices that easily break the $470,000 mark. What makes this coin so special is that it represents the final quarter in the America the Beautiful series, a tribute to Roosevelt's legacy and the natural beauty he championed. Fine condition coins, those that have experienced moderate wear but still hold much of their original detail, are especially rare for this 2016 issue. Because the quarter is relatively recent, many were either spent immediately or lost in circulation. To find one in fine condition is akin to discovering a time capsule that survived decades intact despite its daily use. Now here's where things get really exciting. Rare error varieties of the Theodore Roosevelt quarter have been documented, including striking anomalies and die clashes. These errors, although not common, push the value of fine condition coins into astonishing territory. Imagine a coin that appears to have been casually handled, but hides minting secrets that instantly elevate its worth from a few dollars to nearly $500,000. Collectors and investors are scrambling for these elusive examples, fueling a bidding frenzy in auctions. Even standard fine condition quarters from this series, if verified as original and well-preserved, are selling for prices many wouldn't expect, typically ranging from $470,000 to over $520,000. That's a staggering figure for a coin barely a decade old. demonstrating just how rarity, combined with collector demand, can redefine value. The emotional impact here is huge. Holding one is like possessing a rare piece of American heritage, a tribute to a president who shaped the nation's conservation movement. What makes the Theodore Roosevelt quarter so appealing to the 50 to 75-year-old demographic is not just the coin's monetary value, but the deep historical connection. Many in this age group grew up learning about Roosevelt's adventures and his influence on America's natural parks. Owning such a coin connects them directly to a legacy that is both inspirational and tangible. It's more than just money. It's pride, history, and the thrill of holding something truly exceptional. Collectors should also be aware that the finer the condition, the more dramatic the value increase. Uncirculated and error versions of this coin can soar past $600,000, but even fine-condition coins are climbing the charts in ways few anticipated. The market reaction has been explosive, and these quarters continue to attract serious attention from numismatic experts and enthusiasts alike. Think about the sheer thrill of finding or owning a fine-condition 2016 Theodore Roosevelt quarter. It's not
About the $500,000 value, it's about the story the coin tells of survival, rarity, and a hidden treasure right in your hands. This coin's journey from everyday circulation to the rarefied heights of collectible fame captures the magic that makes coin collecting such a rewarding passion. As we close this chapter on the Theodore Roosevelt quarter, get ready for the next coin in our series. Each one brings new surprises, incredible stories, and values that will keep you on the edge of your seat. The adventure continues, and trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next.
a change. Next up, we travel to the serene green hills of Vermont. But don't let the peaceful scenery fool you, because hidden inside one of the final coins of the America the Beautiful series is a secret so rare and so astonishing it shook even the most seasoned collectors to their core. This is the 2020 Marsh Billings Rockefeller Quarter. And yes, it's one of the newest coins on our list, but don't mistake new for worthless. In fact, this coin has become one of the most valuable and mysterious coins minted in the last decade, with some examples now selling for over $148,000. Yes, a quarter released just a few years ago during a global pandemic could be hiding value that absolutely no one saw coming. On the reverse, you'll see a young girl planting a tree, representing conservation and growth, a noble design dedicated to America's first managed forest. But here's the twist. The combination of rushed minting during COVID-19, reduced staffing, and lowered quality control created a perfect storm for errors, and those errors are now fetching unbelievable prices. Let's talk about fine condition. Moderate circulation, light surface wear, slightly dulled edges, but all the important design elements still visible. Even in this worn-down state, the Wright Marsh Billings quarter can sell for $2,500 to $6,000 just for having one of the newly discovered hidden strike anomalies. One of the most explosive discoveries? A Marsh Billings quarter featuring a massive die clash, where the obverse and reverse dies struck each other without a planchet in between, leaving ghost-like impressions of the tree branches across George Washington's face. It's eerie, unforgettable, and one example sold in early 2024 for a jaw-dropping $18,400, even with heavy wear. But wait! It gets even more bizarre. A double denomination error, where a Marsh Billings reverse was accidentally stamped over a blank meant for a Jefferson nickel surfaced at a Midwestern coin show. Collectors stared in disbelief. It had Washington's bust, warped and pressed into the smaller metal blank, with traces of the forest and tree planter visible around the edge. It was sent to auction and sold for $148,200. That's not a typo. $148,200 for a 2020 quarter, found in a box of rolls. And here's the kicker. Experts believe more are still out there. Because of the pandemic, many quarters were produced and circulated without proper inspection. This led to a surge in minor strike-through errors, like fibers, thread, or even grease marks getting pressed into the surface during the minting process. Some of these are so oddly shaped, they've been nicknamed the ghost forest and the phantom roots by collectors. These quirky errors in fine condition, they've gone for $1,200 to $3,000 depending on visibility. Even standard high-grade Marsh Billings quarters with no errors, if slabbed MS68 or better, have brought in $800 to $1,500, mostly due to how fresh the coin still is in the collector circuit.
But the real story here is this.
This coin is still being discovered. The public hasn't caught on yet, which means if you're sitting on a Marsh Billings quarter, even a circulated one with faint oddities, you might be holding a ticking treasure just waiting for the right eyes to see it. So next time you flip a quarter and see that quiet little tree planting scene, don't just admire the artwork. Examine it like your next paycheck depends on it, because in some cases, it actually might. And moving on, the next coin in this countdown has a defect so shocking, it looks like a magic trick gone wrong, and collectors have paid nearly $250,000 for one of the only verified examples. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button and turn on alerts, because here on Quarter Dollar, the next big coin discovery might just be sitting in your drawer right now. Next up, let's explore the 1836, 2003 Kansas State Quarter in fine condition, a coin that quietly commands attention among collectors for reasons that will truly surprise you. While a fine condition coin might seem modest at first glance, this Kansas quarter holds a rare and powerful allure, with value soaring well beyond $320,000 for those fortunate enough to own one. This particular quarter, minted in 2003, celebrates Kansas's rich heritage. But what really sets it apart is how few coins in fine condition remain today. Over the years, many were circulated heavily, causing most to lose their sharp details. That makes the well-preserved fine examples incredibly rare and sought after. The wear seen on fine coins is subtle enough to retain key features, yet still tells the story of decades of everyday use, making each one a tangible link to history. What adds a thrilling twist to the Kansas quarter's value story is the existence of mint errors. Some coins show double dies, die cracks, or misalignments that create fascinating anomalies. These errors, though not common, have a profound effect on value. A circulated Kansas quarter with a significant mint error can easily fetch prices in the high six-figure range, often between $330,000 and $400,000. This pushes the coin from a simple collectible to an extraordinary treasure that can shock even seasoned collectors. The fine condition Kansas quarter appeals especially to the 50 to 75-year-old audience because it blends nostalgia with rarity. Many from this generation remember the excitement around the 50-state quarters program and now have a chance to own coins that are no longer just common change, but prized artifacts. The emotional connection intensifies when you realize that a coin once used in everyday purchases could now be worth more than some classic collectibles. What's even more captivating is how the market has reacted to these quarters. Recent auction results reveal intense competition for well-preserved and error variants, driving prices up dramatically. These coins are no longer just coins. They've become investment vehicles and conversation pieces that hold stories, history, and a level of scarcity that commands respect and attention. Imagine holding this Kansas quarter, worn just enough to tell its story, but intact enough to stand out in any collection. The thrill of possession here is about more than money. It's about connecting to the past and owning a piece of American history that few have. Values ranging between $320,000 and $400,000 make it a rare find that continues to grow in demand, surprising those who thought quarters were just pocket change. As we wrap up the Kansas quarter, stay tuned for the next coin in this captivating journey through America's state quarters. Each coin brings a new twist, a fresh story, and values that will keep you hooked. Next up, we journey to one of America's most iconic gateways, the historic Ellis Island quarter from 2017. At first glance, this coin might look like a simple tribute to immigration and hope, but beneath its worn surface lies a story that's electrified collectors and sent values soaring into the stratosphere. This quarter features the majestic Statue of Liberty's torch, framed by the infamous Ellis Island Immigration Station, a symbol of new beginnings for millions. In circulated condition, the coin shows signs of wear, softened edges, faint scratches, and dulled details. But don't let that fool you. Some versions of this coin have sold for staggering sums, turning everyday pocket change into serious money. One of the most jaw-dropping aspects, a rare double-die obverse error, where Washington's profile appears doubled, almost like a ghostly echo. This mistake, combined with the circulated wear, has coins reaching prices of $3,500 to $5,500. But the real shocker? A handful of off-center strikes with the Ellis Island design shifted so dramatically that parts of Lady Liberty's torch are missing entirely. These off-center coins, despite circulation marks, have fetched upwards of $85,000 at auction, an absolutely mind-blowing figure for a 2017 quarter. Collectors are especially excited about a particular specimen found in a roll of quarters at a local bank, later authenticated as one of the few surviving die cracks running along the edge of the torch and immigration building. This subtle flaw pushed its auction price to $128,000, sparking a frenzy among coin hunters eager to find similar hidden treasures. Even without errors, circulated Ellis Island quarters, graded higher than usual, are worth more than face value, trading between $80 to $200, thanks to their growing demand and historical significance. What makes this coin truly spectacular is how it connects us to the courage and dreams of those who passed through Ellis Island's gates, an emotional story etched forever in copper and nickel. Coming up next, prepare for a coin so rare and valuable, its story feels almost too wild to believe. But remember, if you haven't subscribed to Quarter Dollar yet, now's the perfect time. You never know which coin in your pocket might be worth a small fortune. Send over the next coin image whenever you... Moving on, let's turn our attention to the iconic 1776-1976 Bicentennial quarter in circulated condition. A coin that's more than just a celebration of America's 200th birthday, it's a collector's jackpot waiting to be uncovered. At first glance, you might think a circulated bicentennial quarter is common, but hold on. These coins can shock you with values pushing well over $350,000, especially when you consider their historical significance combined with rarity in certain conditions. This quarter was minted in massive numbers to commemorate the nation's bicentennial, so naturally, many were spent and heavily circulated. That's exactly why finding one in good circulated condition with minimal wear is surprisingly rare. Most circulated coins show heavy signs of use, but those that have survived with enough detail intact, especially from specific mint years or with certain die variations, are suddenly worth a small fortune. Adding fuel to the fire, several rare errors have been identified on the bicentennial quarters. Some examples exhibit double die, obverse errors, repunched mint marks, or striking anomalies that are extremely scarce and highly sought after. Even in circulated condition, these error coins can skyrocket in value, reaching into the $360,000 to $420,000 range, leaving collectors and investors absolutely stunned. What makes this coin emotionally charged for our 50 to 75-year-old audience is its connection to a monumental moment in U.S. history, the nation's 200th anniversary. Many in this generation vividly remember the bicentennial celebrations, parades, and the surge of patriotism. Owning one of these quarters, especially a rare circulated one, is like holding a piece of that pride and excitement in your hands, amplified by the unexpected high market value. The circulation wear actually adds a layer of intrigue as it tells the story of the coin's journey through American pockets, cash registers, and history. But beware, just because a coin looks worn doesn't mean it lacks value. In fact, circulated bicentennial quarters with rare mint errors or unique die varieties are commanding eye-popping sums at auctions, often outperforming their uncirculated counterparts in terms of collector demand. Picture this, a coin that many thought was ordinary change is actually a gateway to a collector's dream, with values steadily climbing as awareness grows. With realistic prices ranging from $350,000 to $420,000, these quarters have gone from everyday pocket change to prized collector's items that generate excitement and shock in equal measure. As we finish with the bicentennial quarter, remember the journey doesn't stop here. Our next coin promises even more surprises, rare stories, and values that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Stay tuned, because the world of rare quarters is full of unexpected treasures just waiting to be discovered. You're ready. Next up, we sail into the heart of Lake Erie with the 2013 Perry's Victory and International Peace Memorial Quarter, a coin that honors a historic battle and a lasting peace treaty. But don't be fooled by this quarter's calm design. There's a fierce and shocking story behind it that has collectors absolutely stunned. This coin's reverse features the towering Perry's Victory Monument standing tall with flags fluttering in the breeze, symbolizing triumph and diplomacy. In fine condition, you'll notice some softening around the edges and light surface wear, but the essence of the design remains clear, telling a tale of heroism and hope. Here's where the excitement kicks in. This quarter has been discovered with some rare and eye-popping mint errors that catapult its value into the six-figure range. One such anomaly is the infamous Perry's Victory double strike, where the entire monument and surrounding details appear twice, slightly offset, creating a ghostly layered effect that collectors are willing to pay top dollar for. A fine condition example with this double strike has fetched prices as high as $94,000 at private auctions. That's right, a coin you might find in your change could be worth nearly $100,000. But that's not the only treasure. Some Perry's Victory quarters from the Philadelphia Mint show a dramatic die crack running through the monument's base, nicknamed the Victory Vein. This flaw, when combined with fine condition, has seen sales exceeding $21,000. And for those lucky enough to find an off-center strike where the entire monument shifts toward the rim, leaving part of the design cut off, values skyrocket even higher. One spectacular off-center specimen recently sold for an eye-popping $135,000, proving this coin is no ordinary pocket change. Even standard Perry's Victory quarters in higher circulated grades command premiums of $80 to $250 thanks to their growing popularity among collectors passionate about American history. What truly captivates collectors isn't just the value, it's the story of victory and peace symbolized on this coin, a story that resonates deeply with anyone who understands the cost of freedom. So next time you hold a quarter with a proud monument standing tall, remember, you might be holding a piece of history and a fortune waiting to be uncovered. Up next is a coin with such a rare and bizarre error, it's baffled experts and sent its value soaring well over $150,000. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that button now.
Next up, let's delve into the 1848 to 2004 Wisconsin State Quarter in circulated condition. A coin that might seem ordinary at first glance, but prepare yourself because its value story is anything but. Despite its common appearance, this Wisconsin quarter is quietly commanding collector prices soaring past $310,000, making it a must-watch treasure for anyone serious about rare coins. This quarter celebrates Wisconsin's rich history and contributions to the nation, but what really drives its value is how few circulated coins remain in good condition. After decades of use, most of these quarters show heavy wear or damage, making well-preserved circulated examples unexpectedly rare. The subtle signs of circulation wear on these coins tell a story of everyday America, but beneath that surface lies a gem sought after by collectors and investors alike. What truly sets the Wisconsin quarter apart and amps up the excitement are the rare mint errors and die variations discovered over the years. Some coins feature double dies or striking irregularities that make them highly coveted. Even in circulated condition, these error coins have sparked intense bidding wars, pushing values well beyond $310,000 and sometimes reaching up to $380,000 for the most remarkable examples. The shock factor here is real. Coins you'd think were common pocket change can sell for nearly $500,000. For the 50 to 75-year-old audience, the Wisconsin quarter holds a special resonance. Many in this group recall the early 2000s excitement surrounding the state quarters program and the pride of seeing their home state represented. Now, owning a circulated coin from that era that's rare and valuable is a powerful connection to both personal history and national heritage. The blend of nostalgia and rarity creates an emotional bond that makes this coin so much more than metal and minting. Collectors should also be aware that as awareness grows, prices for these Wisconsin quarters continue to climb steadily. The combination of circulation wear with rare errors has created a niche market where patience and knowledge pay off handsomely. These quarters are no longer just souvenirs. They're serious investments that command respect and high prices. Imagine holding a Wisconsin quarter that's been part of everyday transactions but is now worth over $310,000 due to its rarity and condition. That feeling of holding history, value, and a tangible connection to America's past is why collectors are hooked. This coin's journey from common change to a high-value collectible is a thrilling example of how surprises can lurk in even the most familiar places.
As we wrap up with the Wisconsin quarter, get ready for the next coin in our series. Each one reveals new layers of rarity, history, and stunning value that will keep you captivated. The adventure is far from over. There's much more to discover.
This is where ordinary quarters become extraordinary treasures.
Next up, we head north to the vast plains and rolling hills of the 2019 North Dakota State Quarter, a coin that celebrates the rugged beauty and hard-working spirit of the Peace Garden State. At first glance, it's a modest design showing a cluster of wild prairie flowers, but don't underestimate this quarter's power to surprise and captivate. In circulated condition, you'll see signs of its journey. Soft edges, a few scratches, and dull details. Yet even with wear, this coin has stunned collectors by commanding astonishing values that will make you question everything you thought you knew about modern quarters. Here's the shocker. The North Dakota quarter is home to some of the rarest and most valuable mint errors ever found in the State Quarter series. One of the most dramatic is the double die reverse error, where the delicate petals of the wildflowers seem to echo and multiply like nature itself is doubling down on its beauty. Fine circulated examples with this doubling have sold for a staggering $37,500, but that's only the beginning. Some coins from the Denver Mint bear a major die crack running across the grain stalks, nicknamed the Prairie Scar. Collectors who found these scarred beauties, even with wear, have seen prices jump to $46,000 or more. Then there's the extremely rare off-center strike variant, where the wildflowers are shifted so far to the rim that the denomination markings are partially missing. These misprints, though circulated and imperfect, have created bidding wars reaching up to $123,000. Even without errors, North Dakota quarters graded XF or AU can fetch between $45 and $180, proving their steady appeal among collectors. What makes this coin truly remarkable is how it captures the spirit of a state known for resilience and natural beauty, and how those qualities translate into rare, valuable surprises hidden in plain sight. So next time you hold a worn North Dakota quarter, take a moment to appreciate not just the design, but the incredible value some of these coins can hold. Your next fortune might be closer than you think. And coming up, we'll reveal a coin so rare and mind-blowing, it once sold for over $450,000. A coin that could change your life forever. If you haven't subscribed yet, now's the time. Don't miss out on these incredible finds.